welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Star Astrology, and this is my video for the new moon in Leo coming in on August 16th, which is a Wednesday here in California. However, please do adjust for your current location on the planet as that time and date may change for you. This is a very special new moon that does have a lot to do with our Venus retrograde. Here's our new moon. You can see that Venus is very close by, and there's definitely some caution that comes with this new moon. We are headed into some territory that has some drama. I'm not going to lie. And actually, before we get into this new moon and all we have to unpack with this, I actually want to come more into the present moment. I am getting this video out a bit early. So here we are today on August 11th as I film this, and here's Venus at 21 degrees. She just cleared her second square to Uranus over the last couple days. She is retrograde now, so the turbulence of the second square to Uranus may not have been as external as it was internal. Squares to Uranus bring in realization and insight where we can see something with a new perspective. And Venus, of course, ruling things that we love, of course, wanting to know where Venus is transiting your natal chart. That's going to help you personalize this transit to you, which can be very helpful. But generally, Venus is things that we love, that we care about. It's our finances, it's our relationships, etc. So squares to Uranus between Venus and Uranus can definitely bring some turbulence into relationships. Again, this time with Venus retrograde, this could have been more internal, of just like looking internally at our landscape of how we feel within our heart space towards others, certain dynamics or plans moving forward, and feeling things shifting. And potentially with the presence of Uranus there, shifting in ways we could not have seen coming or may not have imagined. That's really the magic of Uranus, is that he shifts the timeline, and he does so by sort of taking a veil off of our eyes or turning a light on upstairs where we can actually see something with fresh eyes, have an aha moment that sets us in a new direction. So we just finished with that, and now we are headed into our Venus CAZIMI. And that is very exciting, and I think that it does play a role in the energy of this new moon coming in. But we've got to kind of go through this interesting, very auspicious, enchanting portal first, and that is the portal of the sun. So a kazimi is when a planet is close to or in exact conjunction to the sun. Kazimi is an Arabic word that literally means in the heart of the sun. So if you watch as I move forward, here she is at 21 today. And then on the 12th and even the 13th, you see that Venus will be kazimi the sun. So she will pass through the rays of the sun and actually be burned and blinded through the rays of the sun. And this sort of, it's like an alchemical process of amplification, epiphany, insight, realization, and illumination, where symbolically and literally Venus crosses the sun, and the brightness of the sun, the radiance of the sun, is going to illuminate our Venus retrograde themes, for better or for worse. So this can be a period of time over the next couple days, particularly the 12th and 13th, and I did get the exact moment for us. Where is it? There we go. If you are curious about the exact moment of the kazimi, it is this right here. You can see that it is at August 13th at 4:18 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, but I think, you know, the 12th for sure, we can definitely be sort of bathing in this solar Venusian energy where something about our Venus retrograde journey is going to be illuminated. And I just want to take a moment to really drive home the fact that we have to remember our Venus retrogrades or our Mercury retrogrades or any retrograde for that matter, or any transit for that matter, it is not just impacting one area of life. It's not just one situation. Trust me. You may have to do some digging, and it does require knowing your chart deeply and studying your chart deeply. But trust that by house, by sign, by aspect to natal planet, these transits are bringing up multiple things in your life, and filtering through all relationships and circumstances. I mean, every person you know and have an interpersonal relationship with, you have a composite chart with that person. And if you and that person have a South Node in Leo and Venus is retrograding over that, you and that person are going to go through some type of karmic process that may have a moment of realization during the CAZIMI. So it's kind of like there's going to be a bunch of light bulbs going off. And I think that the more sensitive we are, the more tuned in we are to these things, the more we really feel it and see it. But I do feel like there is a lot of magic on this day. Again, sometimes having realization can bring us closer to an ending. So it may not necessarily always be positive, but I think it is important to note that the Venus conjunction with Sun, the CAZIMI, as well as the new moon in Leo, is in supportive trine to the North Node. So these realizations that we are having at this time, while some of them are definitely not easy, because the North Node is just simply not easy ever. The North Node is a challenge. It's the next level of the video game. It's like you really got to level up to get to that North Node. But the realizations that we're having are to push us further in that direction. So they're very important ones. Now, here's the little issue, and this is where I want to give caution for everyone. And I don't know how well anybody's going to be able to listen to me because of the aspects that we're going to cover, but I'm going to try nonetheless. Here's my caution. This is a time that we are going into, pretty much starting this new moon, where people are, mark my words, going to be putting on their rose-colored glasses and going gambling. They're going to be rolling the dice, and they're going to fucking know that they're rolling the dice, and they're not going to care. And that is because Venus, let's go forward. Okay, so let's come back today. Here she is. CAZIMI with the Sun, basically tomorrow and the next day. And then she's going back to 19. Now, keep an eye on Jupiter. The closer she gets to 14 degrees, so this is a gradual fade in, but, you know, she's well within orb and influence, like basically starting the new moon. But it's going to get stronger and stronger is my point. Here she comes, 16, 16, 15. Okay, so here. So August 21st, she's in exact square to Jupiter. I will get to what that means in a second, but let's just get the timeline that we're working with first. Check it out. So I'm going to go forward a bit faster now. She goes to 12, slows down. See that? So that's her station. When a planet changes direction or goes direct or retrograde, it does what's called stationing. It slows down to a standstill. Now, Jupiter, check this shit out. Look at Jupiter right there. Look at him. On September 3rd, that's the day Venus goes direct. Jupiter goes retrograde. He's at a standstill too. So she's going to go direct. He's going to go retrograde. What a shit show. So they're doing a funny little dance. Very cute. I'm very impressed. But what I'm like a little concerned about is that that means Venus energy, Jupiter energy, both of them are going to be out of control, because when a planet is stationing and it's at a standstill, it's extra. It's throwing extra of its energy all over the place, and they are in what's called a square. Now, they are both benefics. So Venus in square likes to overindulge, and Jupiter in square likes to overindulge, especially Jupiter. So These two are like two friends that like to get wild and are giving each other mischievous looks because they know that they're going to go big. And it's like they're going to party and things are going to get a little potentially reckless with this energy, especially because of the square to Uranus that I'll get to in a minute. But it's like, this is like a devil may care. I kind of know that this isn't worth investing in, but God, it's tempting and delicious and I want it and I want to have fun and I want to play. And so this is where people can be like overspending, getting in very karmic, romantic situations that they know aren't going anywhere, but they just can't help themselves. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. Like the Scorpio in me is like, go for it. But also, you got to kind of think about the future because, okay, bringing it back to the timeline here. When we look at where we're going, Venus is direct, great, but she's going to be square Jupiter for like weeks, you guys. So this extra energy I'm talking about is going on all the way. She squares Jupiter exact mid-September, right around here. Then she's got to clear another square to Uranus for the love of God. That happens last week of September. More turbulence. That one's going to be big. Mark my freaking words. End of September. If you've been messing around with the wrong person, it's over basically. Or if it's not over then, come into October, then we're going into eclipses at the South Node in Libra, which is going to be all about relationships. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But coming back here, this looks like a very fun September. I used the example on my Instagram of what are their names? George and I think her name's Mirtha from Blow, the movie with Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz. Love that movie. They are, I mean, what an iconic couple. We love them, but like think about their relationship. For those of you that haven't seen the movie, I mean, she's married. She's married to like this huge drug runner, and Johnny Depp is this sexy, risk-taking guy, and he basically comes and breaks up this Colombian marriage, and then they go on this like drug and sex-fueled, very indulgent, romantic adventure. And it's like, that's kind of what this looks like. It's like risk-taking and gambling and like maybe not the healthiest, but it just feels so good you want to do it. So everybody has to be really careful. Let's go back to the new moon and talk about that. So the new moon is very much sort of like the beginning of that energy. It's like we're off with the races. And here it is at 23 degrees. Let's look at the tarot cards. Where did I put them? Because they kind of like support exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, got him. Here we go. So the card with the third decan of Leo is the Seven of Wands, which is a Mars-ruled card. And this is a card that has to do with a bit of challenge, but definitely determination and tenacity and perseverance. So it is a little bit of a tense and competitive card. There's like a competitive environment around this card. It does have to do with standing up for what you believe in, holding your ground, taking a stand, or pushing back against the odds. So on this card, this is what we see, right? We see this beautiful warrior goddess. She has this gigantic sword and she's freaking ready to fight for what she wants, what she believes in, whatever. But look at her face. She looks like she looks tired. She looks somewhat weary and a little bit over it. So I wanted to get us more information on this. So I also pulled the card for the square from Uranus, or the position of Uranus, because when we consider that this is a new moon in Leo, the ruler is the sun. One of the main aspects that we see here is that the sun is exactly square Uranus. So I wanted to pull the card for the position of Uranus to see what is that energy coming in that's sort of bringing out the worst in what we're fighting for, or challenging what we're fighting for. And that card is the Seven of Pentacles. This deck that I work with calls it Laurels, but whatever. So here we have the Seven of Laurels. And the Seven of Pentacles is associated with this last decan of Taurus, which is a Saturn ruled card. So remember, with our previous card, that was a Mars ruled card. So we have Saturn at odds with Mars. That's always like a harsh reality that's kind of slowing our freedom or slowing our ability to move forward. And the Seven of Laurels or Seven of Pentacles is a card about hard work, patience, but it's really about investment and where we're investing our energies around things that are slow to develop. So with this card, there's this girl who's obviously, she's planted this seed and she's literally sitting there watching it grow. She's waiting. There's time involved here. Saturn is time, and it's things that are slow. So this can be frustration that something is taking longer than we want it to. So when we put these two cards together and then we look at the position of the sun and Uranus, what this tells me is we want to make sure that we aren't fighting for something that is a poor investment, right? Because the Uranus placement, that's where we want to invest in things that are going to take a long time, but like are leading to something we want. Whereas this coexisting part of the chart is about putting in a lot of effort to fight for something. So it's like, I really just want to caution people right now to not put a ton of energy towards something that might blow up in your face later down the line, end of September, with that last square to Uranus, or if you make it through that, you're going into eclipses, right? So protect your heart out there, people. Love is a battlefield, and this shit is crazy, but also fun. I also kind of love it in a way. So let's talk about some other ways that this could be manifesting. I mean, again, the new moon is in beautiful trine to the North Node. So despite drama that may be unfolding out there, there's also a tremendous amount of opportunity and excitement. And if you play your cards right, this new moon is really propelling us towards that North Node. So be very intentional with your energy around this new moon. Let that CAZIMI bring in any insights that you need, particularly around relationships, matters of the heart, or finances. Set well-meaning intentions on this new moon in Leo that will help you get to that North Node in Aries. Oh, and, you know, by the way, this new moon is conjunct Black Moon Lilith as well. So it's definitely a spicy one, you guys. And let's briefly cover the Mercury retrograde. Mercury will actually go retrograde at 21 degrees on August 23rd. So let's go over there. And I mentioned this in my last video, but if you have been struggling with your health in any way, shape, or form, this is a great retrograde to get those matters cleared up for yourself so that you can just be done with whatever it is you're dealing with. Retrogrades are about gathering more information, so we can use retrogrades to slow down, backtrack, retrace our steps, and gather more insight so that when Mercury goes direct in Virgo at 8 degrees on September 15th, we can be well on our way to some type of resolution or cure if you do have something going on with your health. Other than that, obviously check where 8 to 21 degrees Virgo hits your chart. That's going to help you personalize that as well. So here on August 23rd, I'm talking about this because this will be before I put out my next video. So I want to preemptively let you know it is a bit of a ways away. When Mercury goes retrograde, Mars and Mercury will be opposite Neptune. So oppositions to Neptune are very confusing. Retrogrades are confusing. So that tells me that around August, you know, around that time, August 21st, 22nd, 23rd, there's going to be something where we're like, what the fuck? What's going on? And we're going to want to pull back. And you do want to pull back. You want to go on the little retrograde journey to get more information. Don't push through some weird ass gate where you don't know where you're going. So do pay attention to that end of August as well. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. Enjoy this new moon. It's definitely an interesting one. And as I said, we are headed into Venus square Jupiter waters for the foreseeable. So have fun, be safe. If something looks way too good to be true, just, be careful, man. I've been telling people, I've been getting a lot of DMs. When do things calm down? Regarding relationships, to be frank, I do not see us having a time where we can see anything really very clearly or realistically until earliest November. So just, enjoy the ride, but I wouldn't be making any massive commitments at all during these highly kind of like overly optimistic energies. Just have fun with it, but don't attach to anything too much is what I would say, especially if something's like crazy new or something like that. Um, but it is going to be a little bit like Disneyland or something for a minute with those two doing what they're doing. All right. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can. I'm putting my information up on the screen. I'm at coyotestarastrology.com. You can read all about my offerings there and book a session. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, find me at earth_2_coyote. I have that up there as well. All right, everyone. Have a great new moon, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.